Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this afternoon with Willow and Rich. And what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is her ability to understand and respond to her formal obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Rich is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded in his right hand. That leaves the left hand free to give the correction, and the only correction that we give here at school is a tug and let go on the training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Willow will come home with her very own training collar, and you'll be taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session. Now she's sitting very nicely at Rich's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done, and the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. Now heeling is proper walking on a leash without pulling you, dragging you, lagging behind you, tripping you, and incorporated into the heel is an automatic sit, and the command is Willow heel.
Willow, heel.
Now at this point Willow has a job to do, and that is to stay even with your left leg when walking. Her shoulders should stay right next to your left leg. She shouldn't be dragging you. She shouldn't be tripping you. She should be walking like a lady next to you, and each time that you stop your feet, she has been taught to sit automatically without being told to wait for her next command. So if you're walking down the street and you stop to cross traffic or talk to a neighbor, she should be sitting automatically. And now we're gonna itch. So Rich puts her back into a sit, and he demonstrates the stay command. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. We do recommend that you practice this exercise indoors as well as outdoors for 1 minute, working all the way up to 3 minutes. Now when Rich returns back to her, he walked all the way around her so that he ended up back at heel position where they started, and he gives her another heel command. Now if she lunges out, or if for any reason is not heeling next to you, that's when you give that little tug and let go on the collar. You tell her no, heel, and you bring her right back into heel position. And with Willow, you have to keep your tone of voice pretty even because you don't want her to get overexcited. That's her problem. We're working on attention span and focus and maturity. So you're going to lengthen out your sit stays. This time, instead of returning back to her, Rich is going to call her. Now he calls her, but he uses a very light tone and doesn't amp her up, and she came right in front and sat. And then she goes back to heel, and she should go back to sitting. And you saw that she didn't go back to sitting right away, so Rich told her no sit, and she did. And for a working dog like her, I would recommend that you practice with her. Put your video on, practice every day, because she needs this kind of mental stimulation. Rich is going to leave her in another sit stay, and they're going to demonstrate that recall exercise again for you. This is an exercise that you do use her name. And you can see she's still got a lot of puppy in her. We haven't done anything break her spirit or all the things that you hear about. She's still Willow. She just understands her commands, and you can use them all the time. In your home, outside of your home, and she's only going to continue to get better. This gives Willow a much needed job to do. She's a working dog. Now we're going to demonstrate for you the down from a heel position. So with your dog seated at your left, you use your left open palm straight down toward the ground and the one-word command to down and stay. This is a great exercise to practice right in the living room. And you're going to, again, lengthen out your time and your distance. You want to work up to 5 minutes. When Rich returns back to her, he will walk all the way around her just as he did on the sit stay, returning all the way back around to heel and She expects at this point to get another command. So he's going to demonstrate that down from a heel position for you again. And the more that you work with her, the more in control she's going to be, and the better behaved dog you're going to have.
Down. Stay.
Goofy teenager. And you want to make her hold those stays. Helps to develop attention span and maturity. This time Rich will call her gently out of that command. Now when she starts to get amped, you saw him say no, get her back under control.
Down. Stay.
Now he's making her repeat these commands because she needs that self-control. There, now that time she did it perfectly. So when you're working with her at home, you don't give up. You make her do these commands for you. And Amanda's going to be going all over all of this with you tomorrow when she drops Willow off. She's going to give you a chance to work with Willow so that you feel comfortable that she's performing the commands for you. Answer any questions that you have about her training. Now this time Rich is going to leave her in a sit-stay. He's going to turn to face her. And he's going to use his right hand to give the command. And you can see that she knows exactly what he wants. But she made him say it twice. So that's the personality that you're dealing with. She's going to test you. Now we have demonstrated for you her healing, her automatic sits, her sit stays, her down from a heel and down from a distance and stay, her come. These are all very important exercises when you're working with your dog at home. Please keep us informed as to how she's doing at home, and if you need help, we're a phone call away. Thank you so much for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.